Welcome to Magic News Today with Mitch. I'm your host, Mitch, and this is your Magic News Today. Breaking news today, the ruling on the new card type and new mechanic in Commander. In other news, a card from Modern Horizons 2 pre-printed. Let's start off with that first story on the Lessons Commander ruling. Strixhaven spoiler season began yesterday, and a new mechanic and a new type of card were revealed. As demonstrated on Professor of Symbology, the mechanic is called Learn. Professor of Symbology is a 2/1 core cleric that costs 1 and a white. When Professor of Symbology enters the battlefield, Learn. To learn, you may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card to draw a card. According to MTG Wiki, Lesson is a spell type, a subtype seen exclusively on instants and sorceries. For example, one of the first lessons that was revealed was Confront the Past. So far, we have seen lessons in multiple colors and even lessons that do not have a color. So in a format with a sideboard such as Standard, if a lesson is in your sideboard, you can grab one of them and put it into your hand when you learn. Or again, you can choose to simply discard a card to draw a card. Now for formats without sideboards such as Commander, Magic the Gathering's official Twitter account had this to say. For those asking, for constructed formats that don't have sideboards like Commander, you won't be able to reveal a lesson card from outside the game, but you can still discard and draw as expected. Lessons are still sorceries you can add to your deck like any other card. So for the purposes of Commander, Learn will essentially function as rummaging, which is when you discard a card to draw a card. And although lessons can be used in a deck, you cannot get them from outside the game. This ruling is consistent with Commander Rule 11, which says, parts of abilities which bring other cards you own from outside the game into the game, such as Living Wish, Spawnsire of Ulamog, Karn the Great Creator, do not function in Commander. So it appears that Learn is not an exception to this rule, and it will be following it. At this point, seemingly the only near exception to this rule are companions. Companions themselves can be brought into your hand from outside the game, though they are not bringing in another card. Truly, only time will tell if this rule will ever be adjusted or changed based on future mechanics. But for now, in the Commander format, Learn essentially means rummage. But now let's move on to the other story for today with a pre-printed card from Modern Horizons 2. Modern Horizons 2 is set to release on June 11th of this year. But a card from that set has been pre-printed in Strixhaven's Mystical Archive. According to MTG Wiki, in this set, Wizards of the Coast has reprinted 63 of the most famous instants and sorceries of all time in specially designed showcase frames. Strixhaven draft and set boosters contain 1 Mystical Archive card, and collector boosters have at least 3. These will only be legal in formats that these are already legal in. They are not part of the standard environment, however the cards may be used in limited events. Abundant Harvest appears to be an exception in comparison to the other cards. It is not a famous spell, in fact it is a brand new spell from Modern Horizons 2. It's a sorcery for a green that says choose land or non-land, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Put that card in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So in Mystical Archive, this is a pre-printing of this card. The actual full printing of this card will be in the Modern Horizons 2 set. So until it is printed in Modern Horizons 2, it will only be legal in Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. Then with the release of Modern Horizons 2, it will be legal in Modern as well. This is the first time that we are seeing a pre-printing such as this. Only time will tell if there will be future pre-printings such as this one. And that's today's Magic News. As always, thank you again for joining me, and have a good one.